Building a character in D&D 5e takes forever. If you don't believe me, perhaps we should go to the people who made it, who say, quote unquote, this is from D&D Beyond, character creation can take forever. Now, I think that's kind of funny because that's quite a bit of a self-own. If you're like, hey, man, you just made your game and you're saying it takes forever, you know, like to sell me another tool, like that's kind of a big self-own. What's interesting is they still have this advertisement on D&D Beyond right now. And they've had this advertisement up there since the beginning of the design cycle for D&D 2024, which means they knew this was a problem and they chose not to fix it. But I'm here to help you. I'm going to talk to you about how you can build. It won't take forever for you to build a character, and you don't need D&D Beyond to do it. You can build it with pencil and paper, and you can build a first level character with D&D 2024 in 10 minutes. And when I say 10 minutes, sometimes I exaggerate on things. Like I said, hey, you can do all your game prep in 15 minutes, and it's like, it takes usually 30 minutes or at least. I'm not exaggerating. I timed myself. I sat down, I used the things that I'm going to talk about. I built a character with a pencil and paper. I set a timer, and it was 9 minutes and 47 seconds for me to build a first level fighter ready to go. So this is not just hyperbole. You can build a character in 10 minutes. And I'm going to give you these tips. So here are the tips. These are they don't change the construct of your character too much from what the defaults are from D&D 2024. If you are a player and you want to use stuff like this, you might talk to your GM and ask if it's allowed. It's actually allowed in organized play, by the way. So because it uses the optional custom background system, that's kind of the key factor here that makes it significantly faster, is that you are breaking up backgrounds and breaking out the stuff that you would get in backgrounds into separate things. But if you're a GM, you can offer this to your players to say, hey, if you want a faster way to make a character, here's a faster way to make a character that simplifies things quite a bit and makes it far faster. So the first thing you can do to build a character in 10 minutes is when you are going through doing all your steps, write down the page numbers. This is my number one rule for doing this. Write down the page numbers of your abilities, spells, feats, and traits. Whenever you come up with an ability, spell, feat, or trait from your class, from your species, from any spells, write the page number down on the character sheet and use your character sheet like an index to all of the material. It is the 5,000 year version of hyperlinking in your character sheet. Don't need a digital tool for that. Just good old pencil and paper. Then the next thing is use a standard array that already includes all of the math. So you don't need to do your standard array and then go and look at what bonuses you get because of what background you picked. Instead, it's an all-in standard array. And the standard array is 17, 14, 14, 12, 10, 8. 17, 14, 14, 12, 10, 8. You put those wherever you want your abilities to go. The reason why the 17 is there is that way at 4th level, when you pick a new feat, it comes with a +1 bonus and you can go jump it to an 18. So that way, when you get your first feat at 4th level, you will jump from a 17 to an 18, going from a +3 to a +4 in your primary ability. So it's really a strong standard array, 17, 14, 14, 12, 10, 8, and already includes all the bonuses you would get from your background for D&D 2024. The second one is when you are going through your class and you're selecting the skills from your class, include 2 additional skill proficiencies. That one are the extra 2 skill proficiencies you would get from a custom background, but you do it while you're making your class. So you're spending most of your time building your character in the class section. You don't have to worry about the background section. You just worry about the class section. You pick the 2 from the list. You pick whatever skills you get for that class and they usually give you a number of skills and you pick a couple and then pick 2 additional ones. You don't have to worry where they are. That way there's no cross-referencing. You don't run into this situation of like, oh, because I picked this background, I have a proficiency in persuasion, but I already had persuasion because of this. So I now need to go back and change that one to this other one. And then I can you don't have to do any of that. You just say, pick the ones for your class and then pick 2 additional ones. You can also optionally add a tool proficiency. I don't know that the tool proficiency matters too much if you're trying to build a character in 10 minutes and off you go. You could probably skip the tool proficiency and do it later, but that works really well. Default to the tough feat. Just automatically take toughness, add +2 to your level, write toughness in the thing, and you're done. You don't need to look up anything in the book. You automatically get +2 hit points to your first level character. You get +2 hit points per level if you happen to be doing a higher level one. The tough feat is a really good feat. It's super, super simple. Just default to that one. If you really want to pick another one, you can, but now you're outside of the Sly Flourish 10-minute bounds. And that's an important thing about all of this. I'm not saying all characters should always all be built in 10 minutes. I'm saying this should be the low floor, that you can spend as much time as you want building your character. If you love spending 2 hours doing every aspect of your character, that's totally cool. But if you want to build a character really quickly, it shouldn't take you forever, according to Wizards of the Coast, who says character creation can take forever in their own system. I don't think it does. I think you can do it in 10 minutes. And I think you can do it in 10 minutes. You don't need a digital tool to do it. Automatically add a healing potion to your equipment list, a regular potion of healing. That accounts for the extra money you would get from your background, which I think in D&D 2024 is always 50 gold. 50 gold is enough for a healing potion. Everybody wants a healing potion. Stick one on your list and you're done. Then when you pick your background, just think up a cool background. You don't have to go through the book and look at the backgrounds that are there. Talk to your GM and say, is there a background you think fits the campaign setting that you've got? Or skip it. Even if you don't even need to. You can kind of come back and add it later, right? You don't have to have a background, and particularly because we have separated the mechanics of the background from the story of the background. Much greater flexibility in what you want that background to be. And you can decide later, because like you just made this character in 10 minutes. Like, give the character some time to grow into the game before you said, oh yeah, by the way, I used to be a smith's apprentice, or I used to be a member of the Thieves Guild called the Black Hand, right? You can be very detailed about it. This takes the background and it gets away from it being farmer, guard, sage, and instead can be things like, I am an archkeeper. I am a former member of the Children of Abraxas that left them. You can come up with that as your cool background, something really specific, more like a 13th age one unique thing than some kind of weird ass generic background. So doing those things, and if you think about it, when you're going through character creation, it's far faster. So let's talk about what those steps are using this new system. What do you actually do when you're going through the steps? Step 1, choose a class. What class do you want to be? Fighter, rogue, barbarian, cleric? What class are you going to be? That's the number one thing you decide. First, you decide that. Once you've decided that, then you use your ability scores and you put them in the ability scores that are going to support that class. And actually, the book kind of shows you like which ability scores work well for what particular class. You can still kind of pick that, but instead you use this default array, 17, 14, 14, 12, 10, 8, instead of the one that they've got in the book. So you're automatically adding the +2, +1 to good ones. So you have 17, 14, 14, 12, 10, 8. 14 is almost always good in Constitution. Everybody should put a 14 into Constitution because you have it there. Then you write down, so now that you've chosen your class, you picked your ability scores, now you pick your class traits, your hit points at first level, your saving throw proficiencies, your skills, and this is where you say you pick the skills that apply to your character class, and then add 2 additional skill proficiencies. Write down your weapon proficiencies, write down your armor training, pick your starting equipment, choose A, just choose the first one, it's a good one, and then add a healing potion to your equipment, and now you're done with your class. Then you write down those class features, like your proficiency bonus, your other class features, and if you have spellcasting, pick the default spells. Then you choose your species, and for the species, all you really need are the size, the speed, and the features, right? And the features are really the only important one. And then you just write down the name of the feature and the page number. You don't have to write down a full paragraph of stuff. Just write down the feature and the page number. Then you add the tough feat. That kind of accounts in the background. Again, you add 2 to your hit points and you're done. And then you choose that thematic background. Those creation steps can build you a first level D&D 2024 character in about 10 minutes. Spellcasters, it might be a little bit longer. If you go and you look for the page numbers of every one of your spells, you're like 15 minutes, right? But you can build a character very, very quickly. And again, you can do it all with a book and a sheet of paper. You don't need to have an online builder. And that's how you build a D&D 2024 character in 10 minutes. I hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, the best way to stay in touch with all the stuff I do is to subscribe to the Sly Flourish newsletter. It is absolutely free to sign up. You get a free adventure generator for signing up, and you get a weekly RPG-related article sent to your inbox every week. You can also support me directly on Patreon. Patrons, for a very low price, get a whole dedicated if you join at the hero tier, you get a dedicated podcast, new City of Arches scenarios that I've been working on. You get tons of tips, tricks, tools, all kinds of stuff, access to our dedicated Discord server, tons of stuff you get for being a patron of Sly Flourish. And you help me put on shows like this. And you can pick up any of my books, including Return of the Lazy Dungeon Master, the Lazy GM's Workbook, Lazy GM Worksbook, Lazy GM Companion, Forge of Foes, City of Arches, and more at the Sly Flourish bookstore. Links for all those are in the show notes. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and get out there and play an RPG.